So we're also putting men in the trenches that don't know how to fight and won't fight against these allegations, because here's the thing, we're afraid of being martyrs, but we want to be influencers all the time. But the slightest bit of conflict, we duck out. That's why we have so many Anons account that attacks us all the time, because they don't want to put their face on the screen like you and I do and then dox themselves publicly and go to war. The reason why I'm here is so that way men can emulate this to a certain degree and say, well, damn, Marte fought, I can fight against my oppressors too, or people that are my detractors, and use a logical argumentation and rational reason to fight this logic. This makes no sense, because if I go down fighting, I'm going to inspire other men to pick up swords and be in these trenches and fight with me.
You know, I wrote this in my monologue, and I shortened it because it was a lot longer. When I was preparing for this, I said, you know, we've raised a crop of self-righteous, holier than thou peacocks with loud feathers but hollow bones. They masquerade as righteous when they are they're just terrified of accountability. They don't smell their own stench because they're too busy spraying cologne over their reputation. Their motto is simply this: judge others loudly, but judge myself quietly. That's not masculinity, that's theater. I said, honor isn't complicated. It's brutal and simple. Did you say you're going to be there? Then be there. Did you break it? Then own it. Did you hurt someone? Apologize, make it right, and accept the cost. No dance, no spin, no 10-slide carousel explaining how actually you're the victim. You know, there used to be a time when a man's word was a contract with God as the witness. And if your signature is cheap, so is your soul. Integrity means the private you matches the public you. Not mostly, not when the camera's on, all the time. If your conviction is only when someone is watching, you don't have conviction, you have optics.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think that's what a lot of people that we today, you know, are more about the optics. They're more concerned about what people think or how people are going to perceive them than really whether or not that's who they really are. And, you know, I think there's this false purity or false, you know, righteousness going around right now that it needs to be called out. I mean, I just think it's just bad form. It's
well, to a certain extent, we should care about what people think, because the more prominent of a social figure you become, the more responsibility you have with your message, and the more responsibility you have with the message, with the social proprietary big status that we have, the less it is, the harder it is to maintain some sort of innocence or semblance of innocence. That's the toughest thing to maintain, because now not only is your life on full display or more of it, it's harder to like say it, you know, you have to actually hold to a standard even more, because now all of a sudden everything's, you know,